Welcome. Did you see this at Menards? And you're thinking about buying it, or you did? Well, I'm going to do a review on this guy. I got this a while back. I just haven't got to it. And like I said, I got it at Menards. And this thing was cheap. I think I paid $25 for it. So this is the first RC airplane on the channel. I usually do drones and helicopters, so I'm not sure how this is going to go because I've never even attempted to fly a plane. So you're going to see me crash land this thing pretty good. But I'll give you guys my thoughts and see if this is something I can recommend. Alright, so here's the front of the box. As you can see, it's called the Sonic Flyer Outdoor RC Jet Plane. And this has got one of those USB chargers. Alright. It's made by GoPlay. And they're saying 8+ on age. Designed for the perfect flight. Automatic stability. Anti-collision silicone nose. Aeroflex lightweight body design. So it's made out of styrofoam. And as you guys probably noticed right away. Okay, so it's got a 500 milliamp battery for the plane, but as you can see there, the remote uses 4 AA's and they're not included. Okay, good to know. So that was the front of the box, and here's this side. As you can see, it's still closed. That's the piece of tape right there. Alright, so same information that was on the front is on the side here. Automatic stability control. Anti-collision silicone nose. And the Aeroflex lightweight body design. So let's look at the other side. There isn't much information on this side. And here's the back. It's a cool looking box. Automatic stability control. USB charger. Includes a remote. The plane and the USB cable and instructions. So here's the plane, of course, remote, and these are vertical stabilizers that attach right there. Alright. And again, this is my first airplane ever. So this is going to be an interesting video. That's okay, we all start somewhere. Alright, so what we're going to do now is open the box and look at what's inside. So I'm going to set you guys down. There we go. Nice. Let's see what $25 gets you. Alright, so this doesn't slide out that easy. There we go. Nice. Alright, so I see a baggie. Show you guys what's in the bag. So I'm going to open this up and just take a closer look at what's inside this baggie. Okay, here's the charging cord. I'm just going to open this up to see how long it is. So the cord is plenty long. I would say just over 2 feet. And here's the end of it. That's the first cord I've seen look like that. Okay, so the other side, just a regular USB cord. So these guys usually light up, and We'll see what happens when we plug this in, but for right now, let's just put this aside. So this is the propeller removal tool. You just get behind the propeller and you're able to wedge it out of there. It's a nice little tool to have. So then you get 2 propellers extra, and they are stamped with a letter. So this is a B3 and this is an A4. So if you go to replace one, just make sure you use the right one in the right location. I got 2 of these. Alright, so these must be the rear, and we'll attach these in a minute. Just wanted to show you guys what these look like. Okay, these wheels are foam. The center is plastic, but the outside of the wheel here, the black part, is foam. Alright, and this must be the front. Basically the same thing. It's got like a little, I guess, spring to it. Again, foam wheel. Very nice. So that's all that was in the bag. We're going to look at the remote next. Wow, it's in there. I'm going to set this aside. And here's the remote. Okay. Now when I move this stick around, you can feel that there's tiny little, I guess, notches. That's kind of nice. You can hear it too. Let me move this stick over here. Okay, so you just get a left and a right. Okay, and this just goes up and down. Okay, that's just a regular button. And then you get 2 buttons up here. And we'll see what they do. And that's it. And of course there's small LED right there. And here's the back of the remote. And they had mentioned in front of the box that this requires 4 AA's. So let me go get some and I'll be right back. Thank you, Costco. Alright, so to open up this battery compartment, there's a small screw, small Phillips. Take the screw out, and then you just push up on the door. It's kind of hard, but you'll get it. Alright, let's turn this on and see if it makes any noise. Okay, no noise. And the LED is blinking. Alright, so let's put this to the side. And here's the airplane. Let's take this out. Underneath the jet, you'll see some instructions. And there's one more thing I just noticed right now. The battery. So I'm going to put this aside and we'll look at this in a minute. But yeah, this thing is light. Wow. So it's all styrofoam, and it doesn't feel like it's gonna break very easy. It kind of flexes. Hope you guys can see that, but yeah, the whole thing's got a little bit of flex to it. And the nose is very soft, so that's good in a way. So here's the jet or the airplane all around. It's a nice looking piece. It looks nice. Here's the propellers and the little motors. Here's B and here's A. And you got some plastic piece. It looks like they're covering up some wiring with. And then you got a small compartment here. It looks to be the compartment for the battery. Yep. Okay. And a small switch on and off switch right above it. And you got a little wire hanging out, and that's for the receiver. So overall, not bad so far. Not bad at all. So I'm just going to close this up for right now. One thing I did notice, quickly looking at this, is that there's a piece of tape around the nose of this. And I'm going to leave that on there because I believe it's holding it on. So just in case you guys get this and you guys see that tape, I would leave that on there. And here are the vertical stabilizers. So made out of the same material, foam. And they look like they drop and slide forward because it's got like a small hook that they catch. Same with the other one. Hope you guys can see that. So I'm going to try to install one. And again, they go right there. I see a little square cutout to where those little clips fall into. Let's see if I was right. So I dropped it in place. There we go. Just be careful because it is foam and you do not want to break this. Let me try to show you guys one more time. There's a little square cutout where these drop into, these little clips. Kind of feel around for it. You'll see that the stabilizer falls into place, and then you push forward lightly, maybe a slight wiggle, and it's on there. This thing looks cool. Check that out. It's pretty big. I'm going to measure it real quick just so you guys get an idea. Alright, so from tip to end, we're looking at 16.5 inches. And wingspan, about 13 inches. Alright, so there's the jet. I still got to put the wheels on it and drop in the battery. So let me show you guys the battery real quick. And like the box mentioned, this is a 500 milliamp battery. So it's not exactly the biggest, but it's not bad. It's a 3.7 volt, and it is a LiPo, so this is a very powerful battery. Be careful, don't pierce these guys. If you respect the LiPo, there is no risk. So yeah, it's a nice little battery. And here's the instructions. And like I say in all my RC aircraft videos, you should definitely read your instructions before you take flight with any RC. It just helps to know what's coming. So I'm going to quickly skim through this, and if I see anything you guys need to know, I'll show you guys. Okay, so I lightly skimmed through the manual, and there's a couple things I did want to point out. Alright, so one of them being the two top buttons on the remote. They are trim buttons. Now, again, this manual isn't the easiest to understand, so I'm going to have to show you guys what those trim buttons do and how they work once I'm flying the airplane or jet, because trying to decipher what they're trying to say, it's kind of hard. Something else I did want to point out is that the battery takes about 50 minutes to charge. So there's one more thing I did want to show you guys, in the owner's manual is this right here in the debugging section. They're saying if the ascending angle is too big when taking off, you can trim the level tail wing downwards. So they're saying you can bend these down, but again, this is foam, and to me, if I bend this too far down, I feel like it's gonna crack. So be careful. I'm not trying to break it right away. So they're saying that you can bend the foam if you're having issues with it, and vice versa. If you're having issues with the plane not rising, you can make them more level, and the unit should take off easier. All right, so let's plug this charging cable in, see what happens. All right, so there is an LED, and it is on. Now let's see what happens when I plug in the battery. And this does go in a certain way. So the end of the battery is like that. And that corresponds with this end. So it's kind of a pain, but you'll get it. Okay. All right, so that wasn't that easy to put together. Now it seems to be a little easier, but as you can see, it's kind of easy to make it not charge. So pay attention to that. When it's charging, the light is off, and when it's done charging, I'm guessing the light kicks on. So let's see what the charging rate is at the moment. It's taking 1.6 watts. So we're gonna set this aside, let it charge up all the way. Okay, so the battery's all done charging. And as you can see, the red LED is back on. So that's how that works. When it's charging, the LED is off. When it's done charging, LED kicks back on. So battery's all done. What I wanted to do next is show you guys how to put the wheels on the plane. So let's do that next, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's pop the front one in first. And again, that's the front one right there. And the owner's manual doesn't say much about these wheels, so I'm just gonna wing it. Well, I've been poking at installing these wheels on the Craft, and yeah, that was a big fail. I'm not exactly sure how they pop into place. I see where they go. So they would go here, as you see, and you would think you would just snap back and click these into position, but every time you do, you end up snapping this little part here, and you end up with that. So maybe I'm doing it wrong, but nowhere in that owner's manual does it talk about installing those. And maybe you RC airplane guys have seen this a million times and know how to click these in, but I don't. But yeah, since I broke the end of two of them, I'm not going to be installing those. What I'm going to do is just hand launch it. That's an option on how to take off with this airplane, and that's the way I'm going to use it. But the next step I want to take is popping this battery into place. So let's open this compartment. And I'm going to drop this into place. Okay, got it in there. It wasn't the easiest getting in there, so let's close this up. And let me see what happens when I turn on the switch. Oh, nice. We got some LEDs. Very nice. And I thought those were just some plastic covers to cover up some wire. But they got some LEDs underneath that plastic. And one right there too. Very nice. Nothing on top, just the bottom. I'm out here at a local park. And I just wanted to show you guys wind conditions before I start. And they're at 8 miles an hour and gusts up to 12. I'll be surprised if it actually flies in this kind of condition. You can really feel those gusts. And I don't believe this has enough power to kind of fight through it. And my lack of experience isn't going to help much. So let's give this a try again before I start. I've never flown an airplane before, so for me to even go straight for a little while or for a little bit, I'll be very happy. So let's give this a try and see what happens here. So we're gonna turn on the plane first, and then we're gonna turn on the remote, and they will self-bind. And I'm going against the wind, and we'll see what happens here. There is trim buttons on the top, as I mentioned before. I don't know if I'm gonna need them, but if I do end up using them, I will show you guys. So here we go. I'm gonna toss the plane into the wind, and we'll see what happens. So before I actually take off, I'm gonna give it some throttle to see if it has enough punch. It doesn't really feel like it's doing much, but let's give this a try. Here we go. There you go, guys. So it actually got up in the air pretty high. I did notice that as soon as I let go of the throttle, it was starting to pitch down, and it didn't want to pick back up. So we're gonna give this another try. Again, I'm learning, and here we go. Oh, this is so cool. Crash land. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there's somebody else out here having some fun. Let's see if any damage has happened. Nothing. Very nice. Let's give this another try. Again, I've never done this before. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be throwing it into the wind. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, when I want it to come down a little bit, I just let go or don't accelerate as much. And it's doing really good. It's just kind of gliding in the air. Wow, this is really cool. Yeah, this is fun. Whoa, okay, that was fun. There you go. This thing is impressing me. And again, I've never done this before, so this is extra fun. Let's give this another try. Full throttle, and the way I'm holding it, I'm not getting anywhere near the propellers, so I'm just tossing it. Wow. Okay. Just don't do that. All right, let me work on that for a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, I got lucky. I got it back. So if you're learning like me, stay away from trees. I'm gonna try to go into an area where I can fly around and it's not gonna get stuck in a tree. So maybe in the middle of this field. Oh, this thing is awesome. It's just gliding in the air. I got no throttle. I'm just gliding it in the air. It's just by itself. Very cool. Let's try it again. Really trying to fight that wind. No throttle. I'm just gliding in the air. Oh, that was so cool. And I apologize for my lack of flying ability here, but I'm trying my best. Learning and having the sun in my vision, I know that's an excuse. It doesn't help much either. So you guys saw that drop. I was really high up in the air, and this thing's holding together just fine. And again, I would watch out for the wind gusts or wind conditions like any aircraft. And you can see it really tried to struggle to fight that wind. But I'm having fun out here learning how to fly this. And I'm sure the more you do this, the better you can predict what's going to happen. And the better time you have. Look at that. Tell me that's not cool. Uh-oh. Oh. All right, guys, so we're back to the truck. I believe the wind conditions are kind of strong for this little plane. I still am impressed, though. So let's just take this back to the hobby room, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this guy. All right, so I'm back in the hobby room, and I'm just gonna close up this video and tell you guys what I think about the Sonic Flyer here. Like I said, I paid $25 for it, and I got it at Menards, my local Menards, and yeah, I'm happy to say that I recommend this guy. It is nowhere near hobby grade, but if you want to have some fun and pay very little, this is definitely something you should buy. And again, this is no hobby grade toy. This is exactly what I just said, it's a toy. So don't think you're gonna go out there and do some precise flying, because that's not the case. But if you want to be out there having some fun, or you want to get into the hobby, this is a good way of getting your feet wet and giving it a try, and see how you like it. But as far as runtime, that's going to be really hard for me to answer. I'm not exactly an expert at flying a plane, so I pretty much stay up in the air for about 60 seconds at a time, and the other half, or the other part of it, which is the majority part, I go retrieving this thing, and it's usually pretty far away. So last time I was out there for like over a half hour, and I went actually out there again, and same scenario. Maybe I got a little better at flying it, but yeah, half the time you're spending just walking to relaunch this thing. So I couldn't answer that for you, but I will say I was out there 30 minutes and I still had battery. So you should be good for a while when you go out there to have some fun. One thing I didn't like about this battery is that the pins on the end here started coming out of the connector here. So what I did was added some shrink tubing so that one pin wouldn't walk out of the end and not make connection with the plane, and that seemed to do the trick. But I'm sure eventually this will have to be changed out, and if you're into the hobby, that should be no big deal. Either you have more ends extra in your little parts box, or you know where to find another end. I'm just trying to be as transparent as possible. I don't want you guys thinking you're buying a hobby grade plane here, and that's not the case. But for $25, you guys saw it, this thing does pretty good. You'll be out there having some fun. The battery took 1 hour and 11 minutes to charge, and you guys can see that right there. But yes, it took longer than their claimed 50 minutes, but it's not that far off. 1 hour and 11, so that's what that took. But again, I recommend this. 25 bucks, you can't go wrong. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys on the next one.